Nice to see you, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Greta.
Well, Donald, last night it was a whopping victory, 20 points in New Hampshire. It's more fun to win, isn't it?
I love winning. It was a great win. It was a great victory. We love it.
Why do you think that on the Democratic side of the aisle that Hillary Clinton got clobbered by Bernie Sanders, 22 points over there?
Yeah, it was surprising to see, and, you know, we're dealing with a socialist, perhaps even a communist. If I listened to his speech last night, that was beyond socialism, so I don't know what's going on over there. That was a pretty big victory for him.
One of your hometown newspapers, the Daily News, Mort Zuckerman owns that, and they had a pretty hostile cover front page to you. What's up with that?
Well, I know him. He's an insecure guy. He's got a losing newspaper. He tried to sell it for the last 2 years. He can't get anybody to give him $1 for it. It's a piece of garbage. And they put me on the cover every time they can. They always put me on the cover to try and sell newspapers. It's going to fold up. I can't imagine anybody buying it. I mean, he's literally been begging people to buy it, but he's just an insecure guy. He's a loser.
Governor Chris Christie, you spoke last night. You had a long conversation. I assume that he congratulated you on your victory. What else did he tell you?
Well, I just spoke to him a little while ago again, and he spoke to me last night. And, you know, he's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He's a tough cookie.
Also down in South Carolina, that's the next spot you're going. There is a former 2012 Romney campaign staffer, a consultant, who's now got this super PAC, and it's taking a direct aim at you, going up at the air. Your response to that super PAC, they're aiming at you.
Well, a lot of people have been aiming at me. You know, they're all aiming at me, I guess, and that's fine. So far, it's been only driving my numbers up. They should have devoted more time to Mitt Romney and helped him win instead of looking at, you know, taking other people down. But they've all been going after me. I've had, I guess Bush spent $20 or $25 million on me, and he's like nowhere. He's going nowhere. And now Romney's doing a PAC because Romney feels badly because, frankly, that was an election that he should have won. You know it, and I know it. 4 years ago, they should have won that election easily, and they failed. So these people, these ex-Romney people, should have focused more on getting Romney elected instead of doing super PACs.
Is your strategy going to change much going into South Carolina? We're back to a population or a voting demographic highly evangelical. Are you changing your strategy between New Hampshire and South Carolina?
Not too much. We've really hit a chord, and, you know, we're talking about border security, we're talking about the military, the vets, and, you know, things that are pretty generic to no matter where you are. I do great with the evangelicals. We have a great relationship, and I'm leading an evangelical vote in polling numbers, as you know, Greta. I'm leading over the nation, throughout the nation. I'm leading, and that's a great honor. And I don't think too much. Really strong military, great trade deals. You know, something I've been talking about right from the beginning. We want really great trade deals, which we don't have now. We lose hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars on trade. I mean, just with China alone, we lose that. So, you know, I think the message is going to stay pretty much the same.
All right. The news today, and some of the business news today, is that Sears is going to accelerate the closing of 50 stores. And, you know, we always talk this sort of big picture about politics, but closing 50 stores are really going to hurt a lot of families. If you're president today, is there anything you would say or do? Because these families, they're going to take a big hit.
Well, the retailers have a lot of problems, whether it's Sears or Macy's or any of them, because it's sort of like becoming an older line business. But I don't know, Sears, it looks like more of a financial play than anything else. You know, something's going to happen. They'll either rent those stores or re-rent the stores, or they'll be knocked down and a building will be put there. It'll all work out. Eventually, it'll all work out. It doesn't look very good right now. I saw that. And Sears has a major headache as a company. You know that.
I went to Facebook and put your picture up and asked for some questions. And Michael Patrick Martin, one of my Facebook people who likes me on Facebook, says, what does it say about the polarization of the country that a socialist is winning the Democratic primary? And how can you, that would be Donald Trump, compete in a general election with an opponent that claims virtually everything will be free?
Well, because the taxes are not going to be free. Your taxes are going to be 95%. If you look at what this guy wants to do, I mean, frankly, they should be about 120% if you really want to know the truth. Everything he wants to give away, you're talking about like 95% tax.
But how do you run against that? So eventually
that'll be explained. I'll explain it.
How do you run against that?
You run against it by explaining that.
And you think that, and think that's the easy?
Just what I explained.
Okay. All right. Another question.
I mean, who's going to pay 95% tax? You literally would have to pay 95% tax to pay what this guy wants to do. I mean, he wants to take everything away from one group. But the truth is, once you get the taxes beyond a certain point, he's unelectable.
All right. Catherine Hagan, also on my Facebook page, says she's heard a lot about politicians talking about helping the vets and other people. But she says, what about our seniors? And I see a lot of questions like, what, you know, if you're president, what are you going to do about Social Security? And what about seniors?
Well, you know, it's a great question because I spend a lot of time with the vets and helping the vets, and people don't talk about the seniors. I'm talking about the seniors, and I have been for a long while. The seniors are in a lot of trouble, and now they're talking about, many people are talking about cutting Social Security. I am not going to cut Social Security. I'm bringing the jobs back. I'm lowering taxes. We're going to have a dynamic economy again, Greta, and we're not cutting Social Security.
We're just, today, Carly Fiorina suspended her campaign. I don't know if you know that yet, but you have any thoughts about Carly suspending hers?
Well, I thought she was very nice. I thought she was very effective in a lot of different ways. I didn't know she's suspended, but, you know, you have to do what you have to do, and we'll see what happens with Chris, likewise.
One other question from Facebook, and I know you get this one a lot, but this is from Pat Myvold, and says, why don't you act more presidential? I like you, but I don't like the bad words that you insert into your speech. Are we going to hear of a little cleaner language or softer language, or is this Donald Trump?
Well, sometimes I'll copy other people's language. Like the other day, we had 5,000 people in New Hampshire. It was amazing. In a blizzard, we had 5,000 people, more than that. And a woman got up and used a little bit of a bad word. And I said, don't you dare use that word. And everyone said, what's the word? I said, here's the word, but she used it, not me. We were just having fun. I reused her word. And I will tell you, the place stood up and they were giving a stand. It was like a standing ovation. It's called politically correct. We're too politically correct. Now, with that being said, as I get closer and closer to the goal, it's going to get different. You know, we started off, Greta, you were there right from the beginning, 17 people. Now we're down to not very many people, probably 6 in the end of the day, maybe even less than that. And once you get to a certain level, it changes. I will be changing very rapidly. I'm very capable of changing to anything I want to change to.
All right, billionaire, another New York billionaire may get into the race. Mayor Bloomberg, at least we hear some sort of chatter. What are your thoughts of another New York billionaire getting into the race, if that happens?
Well, I know Michael very well. He's a friend of mine. I hope he gets into the race. I think it would be good. I'd love to compete against him, and I think we'd do very well. I would love to see Michael in the race.
What if, in looking at this whole, you've now become a politician because you're in politics. What's the biggest thing that has surprised you from the inside or from being a politician that you never anticipated when you were just a billionaire businessman?
I'll tell you what really a little bit surprised me, but it's a pleasant surprise, how smart the American public is, how much the American public cares, and how they want to change the country and bring it back. And I have never seen anything like it. It's Love Fest. I mean, like tonight, I'm leaving. As soon as we're finished here, I'm going to South Carolina. We have thousands and thousands of people showing up for an event, like a rally or whatever you want to call it, that I set up like 2 days ago. It's unbelievable. So the love they have for this country, Greta, is unbelievable. And that's a very pleasant surprise. I assumed it, but not to the extent that I've seen. It's incredible.
Donald, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you'll come back soon.
I will. Thank you.